to celebrate midway through the Intangible Cultural Heritage Project. We've been given funding by the National Heritage Lottery Fund, where we're celebrating the intangible cultural heritage of African, Caribbean and South Asian communities in the Southwest. We also wanted to find out why the museums were failing in being inclusive and asking what they were doing around decolonisation and diversifying their workforce. What we found out so far is there seems to be a difference between the smaller organisations. They seem to be managing to work on inclusion in terms of workforce diversity and in terms of programming, and the larger institutions are struggling.
It's always really joyous to come to Bristol, and it's especially joyous to come and connect with family. And so being in a space with a whole range of creative arts and cultural heritage professionals and talking about the challenges of decolonial practice, talking about post-colonial practice and the reality of our existence as professionals working in spaces which are predominantly white, predominantly British, is really important. We've heard some amazing words from some of our colleagues and peers, inspiring words. I've already been in part of collaborations that have just kind of sprung up just from being in the room, in the space, and so it's hugely powerful.
But especially good feeling to come to an event where people are talking about diversity and post-colonial when it's truly diverse.
So I'm really glad I came. So I came all the way from Birmingham. I was interested in the topic and I wanted to see what's the take on it in Bristol. The different things that we're all doing is contributing to a bigger picture of decolonisation, but actually maybe that word isn't the right description. There are so many other elements that make that up.
I come here and I stand as sort of a young person just trying to learn more in terms of like what's happening in the city and what people before me are trying to do. So for me it feels very informative. I'm about to be on the panel, so I feel like as much as I'm speaking to people, I feel like I'm in the process of learning so much more.
There was some really good golden nuggets in what we have learned. Really interesting to hear the findings of the report, so I'm looking forward to the report coming out in September. The biggest institutions get the most money and the smaller supposedly arts-based community organisations are just dealt with as if they're just smaller little projects. So as part of that decolonisation, even here in Bristol, we need to rethink how we fund some of our institutions and organisations and maybe flip it on top of its head.
So we really found that there was a link between the monocultural workforce, interpretation, and then audience. So it was like a circular link. And I think those three key things need to be challenged in terms of breaking down some of the structures within museums and cultural spaces.